Rob, are you still in the ladder, or are you out of the bucket now? You're out front of the truck.
There you go.
You know what? I wasn't feeling well to start this morning, and yeah, I don't like heights. That was way too far. Shane Edwards playing a joke on me this morning.
You looked great in it, though.
Well, yeah.
You fit the role.
Good from afar, right?
Yes.
Well, this is it here. This is pumper, ladder number 1, right, Shane? Tower number 1, and that was the ladder we're in. And we're talking about fire prevention this morning. Good morning again to you, Shane Edwards, Fire Prevention Officer. You're good where you are with the City of Barrie. Now, there's a number of things we want to talk about this morning, specifically things that everybody has inside their home. So let's start with the heater and make our way across the table.
When we say 48% of fires are preventable, we're going to talk about those right now. So actually, when we say give space heaters...
just come over here, yeah,
sure.
Go ahead.
It gives space heaters space. When we turn it off?
Yeah, turn it off.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go. Give space heaters space. This is what we mean. Sometimes these actually act up. So a lot of people give the space in front. You got to give the space all around it, because you can see here, this was actually in front of a curtain, and this caught fire. So although this is all clear here, it actually caught the fire on the curtain behind us. So look at that.
And how quickly does this melt like that? That must be pretty quick.
Yeah, this was just a device that just malfunctioned, and obviously it went to CSA, or CSA ULC got all investigated, and it's probably being looked after. But it's a heating device. They can malfunction. It's mechanical.
They can't catch fire.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, space not only in the front but right around.
Give space heater space. Candles. Candles are driving us nuts. Candle fires are on the rise. We're going to these fires all the time. People are destroying their house with candles. Buy the right candles. A lot of people are going with these pillar candles. Leave it. You can see how they melt down, and eventually they come down and they'll drip on the carpet or the floor, and they'll catch the floor on fire. Or these type of candles that are too wobbly in here, and a cat can easily knock that one over.
Well, there you go. Perfect example.
Go with a jar candle that's got a sturdy base, so it's non-combustible on the table, and it'll be concealed within. Or, look at this. This is cool. I just bought this yesterday. Nice candle, isn't it? It's actually flameless. It doesn't have a flame in it, and it acts the same way. Look at it.
You can blow it out?
Yeah, blow it out.
Turn it back on? Yeah, just blow again.
Cool, eh?
Breathing fire.
A lot safer. Put that in your pumpkin at Halloween, right?
Okay.
Or your jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
This is another type of fire, actually, we've seen. Actually, dryer hoses that pick up lint inside. So these plastic things, if you got one of these on your dryer, get rid of it, because you can see the collection of how it can actually catch the plastic on fire. Buy either one of these guys, aluminum, so it's going to be concealed inside if there's lint buildup, or better yet, tin. If a fire happened in there, it's going to be contained in there.
And of course, most people have a dryer at home, so this is something they should be looking at tonight.
Yes.
Now, one thing that a lot of people don't have that they should have are fire extinguishers. And you say, in this case, size does matter.
Yes, it does. Actually, if you have a fire in your home, don't chintz on a fire extinguisher. These things drive me nuts when I see these in a house. If you had a fire in your house, would you want this guy, or would you want this guy? This is going to give you a good 30 to 40-second blast to put out a fire. It's going to give you plenty of agent.
Compared to the smaller one, which won't do very much at all.
Yeah. One other thing on the ground here, this is what we're seeing in student residences with all the technology students are bringing to college these days. If you're a parent and you have a kid in a residence, call them to ask them if they're doing this. They're putting the plugs, they're doing these 3-prong plugs, they're doing extension cords, they're using it as permanent wiring. They shouldn't use extension cords as permanent wiring. They're doing it into a power bar. We're seeing power bars.
With power bars
into
attached.
power bars. So we're seeing up to 10 sockets for one plug, and it's not designed for that.
All right, good tips, Shane. Appreciate it. Shane Edwards, Barrie's Fire Prevention Officer, with us all morning. Stay with us. We have a whole lot more to talk about when it comes to you and your family and fire safety. You're watching A Morning. Thanks very much. Again, we're marking Fire Prevention Week, and we're with Barrie Fire Department here at station number 3 on Big Bay Point Road. Shane Edwards, good morning to you again.
Hello.
Fire Prevention Officer for Barrie. This morning we sort of talked about the do's and don'ts, and I think a lot of people at home may be surprised to hear that actually 40% of house fires actually start right here in the kitchen.
Yep, they start right in the kitchen, right on this device right here. Not necessarily the oven, but on the stovetop. So, and that's a number that doesn't seem to go down or up. We seem to just hover at 40%. We need to do everything we can to try and tackle that number, to get it down below 40%.
So what are some of the simple things, Shane, that parents at home, even kids at home, can sort of keep in mind to try to obviously reduce the chances of having a kitchen fire? So let's start with the oven.
Probably the #1 rule is don't leave your cooking unattended. Most fires actually start, these grease fires on the stove start on their own. They ignite it by themselves. So if you're not here when it happens, you can't do it. You come back to the fire in the kitchen. That's a bad thing. If a fire does occur on the stove, you really want to clear the clutter around the stove. So little things like wood blocks or knife blocks like this with wood, you don't want to give it any fire load actually to spread the fire up into the cabinets.
Because it's not uncommon at all for people to have napkins or paper towels on the roll right next to it.
Yep.
You're saying that's a no.
Oven mitt close by, tea towels in front, that's a no, because it actually spreads the fire. So if you actually started, you don't want it to get going on its own.
Okay, so if someone is cooking, Shane, and they have a bit of a grease fire, the best thing to do is
they want to turn off the heat, slide a lid across the top like this, and turn the heat off. Let it cool down on its own. What we've done is we've taken away the oxygen. Even if you peak now, that can actually flash and come back and actually get you in the face. That could flash back on you. So just let it cool down on its own.
So 2 important points to that. 1 is cover it up.
Yep.
Don't throw water on it.
No, don't throw water on it.
And 2, you were saying off cameras, you have to make sure that this is the right size, because if it's not, it's useless.
Yeah, you don't want to be searching for that in your cupboards when you actually have a fire in the stove.
Okay.
What people also do is they come over to the sink. They want to get this fire out of their home as fast as possible, so they either run with it and they spill it on themselves, or they spill it on the ground, or they dump it down the sink. They dump it down the sink. Well, in the trap, in the sink, is actually water. So what happens is in the trap, in the sink underneath, there's water there. So dumping this down the sink creates a fireball in your kitchen. We go to fires all the time where there's a fireball, a singe mark on the ceiling right above the sink.
And that's
what's happened there.
And you know that right away.
Yeah, yeah. The last rule, probably don't reach for danger. I actually spoke to a senior back in the spring who actually reached across the stove with a robe on such like this, and you can see the baggy sleeves on there.
Yep.
And hers was a very light robe, and you can see she was cooking on the wrong, she was using the wrong pot on the wrong element here. So as she reached across, some of the grease actually from whatever she was cooking actually came down onto the element and actually caught fire. So the fire actually started around the pot.
Okay. I have one myth buster, I suppose,
Yep.
this morning. My mother always told me, don't leave things plugged in. Is that a do or is that a don't?
It's okay. It's a do. Just don't overload your sockets. When you put a 6-prong in there and you turn a 2-prong into a 6-prong and you plug everything in there, that's a no.
But it's okay to leave the toaster plugged in.
Yes.
It's okay to leave all those things plugged in.
Yeah.
Common sense in the kitchen will save lives.
Yes.
Again, 40% of fires start right here in the kitchen.
Yeah, and they're all preventable.
Okay, we're going to talk more about fire prevention, fire plans, and what parents need to tell their kids this morning.
Yes.
We'll be back. Shane, thanks a lot. Guys, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Rob. Great advice.
Great advice. And you know what?